My name is Jennifer Preston, and I'm the Program Coordinator for Canadian Friends Service Committee, which is the peace and social justice arm of the Quakers in Canada. And I work specifically for them on Indigenous rights. And one of the portfolios that I work on is Indigenous rights at the international level, including the UN Declaration on the Rights of Indigenous Peoples. It was a more than 20-year process at the UN, first in Geneva and then finally ending in New York. And it went through, which makes it the most discussed human rights instrument in the history of the United Nations. And it was finally adopted by both the Human Rights Council, and then it was advanced to be adopted by the General Assembly in New York. And it was adopted by the General Assembly in September of 2007. There was 144 states that voted in favor of the declaration and 4 states that voted against, including Canada, Australia, New Zealand, and the U.S. And Australia has since changed its position. New Zealand and the U.S. their positions are under review.
Okay. Now, it was a very interesting talk tonight, and I wonder if you could just say a little bit about what do we do here on the ground in British Columbia and Canada?
I think the most important thing is that people need to read it. They need to know what's in it. They need to understand for a declaration to have meaning, it needs to be known. And it's part of human rights education for all Canadians to be aware of the standards that are in the declaration. So access it and read it and share it. And I would say for individuals that want to work on implementation, things that you can do is contact your political representatives on any level and say that you encourage support for the declaration and for the standards to be implemented. You can also be aware of when you are aware of human rights violations. Be aware of when you hear of injustices. Hold your governments to account, hold corporations to account. It should be integrated into education systems, into curriculum in schools at the high school level, at the university level. So it's the kind of thing where information has to be shared and people have to be encouraged to be supporting the standards that are in the declaration.
Okay, thank you. And anything else you'd kind of like to, just as a final note, to
I think that the declaration is in the spirit of something that's very positive, and I think that all Canadians engaging on supporting the rights of Indigenous peoples is something that is part of the progressive development of the international human rights system. So this is something that is meant to be a very positive part of reconciliation and moving forward into a better future.
Great, thank you.